welcome to Travels with Geordie. If this is your first visit, my name is Peter Knowles and I live on this pair of classic wooden motor cruisers in and around Victoria, British Columbia, along with my lovely fiancée Andrea, all the while fixing them up for some pretty ambitious cruising someday. If that's the sort of thing you might find interesting, please consider sticking around and subscribing. I'd love to have you. Will you look at the growth on there? Yeah, that's probably a pretty good indication that there's been a major weight balance change aboard Geordie. I'll explain all that. It's been rainy, it's been windy, but now we're back to work. Anyway, let's catch up to our baby. Okay, we're gonna head into a bit of a power crunch. This beautiful day you see before you is one of the last before we get 4 full days of rain. And our power consumption here is a little higher than I'd like to admit. Most of that being refrigeration and power tools. So we're gonna defer sanding on Pome for a little bit and spend some energy making as much power in the next couple of days as we possibly can. Some of you will notice the solar panel I just installed on Pome is back on here, and that's because Pome's batteries are all now fully charged and I want to massively build power here as much as I can, and part of that is installing a new solar charge controller for these so that I can reuse that all powers, that solar battery pack thing, and continue to use its 400 watt solar panel array so we can make 1,000 watts of power for the next day and a half or so. And build up some pretty big batteries. And here are those pretty big batteries. 4 Lithium 230 amp Bluetooth batteries, 2 of which were sent to us a couple of months ago, and we installed them on Pome, as you all know, and 2 of which just arrived. As a result, I'm going to put all 4 down below here in Geordie, replacing the 8 GC2s, which are actually working like new, but this has massive amounts more storage. Now let's look at my little sad power management situation here. I am not proud of this, but it is keeping us going. All right, this is the All Powers solar charger, which is basically a lithium battery with an inverter and a charger in it. Well, you can see it is currently at 63%. It is connected up to the big solar array on the roof, and this has been a godsend. I periodically turn on the inverter, patch it through, and send it through to the house batteries on Geordie to charge them up. And that's been working just fine, with the addition of using this little DC charger to charge the batteries that we put in the dinghy. Okay, that is to say, the old modified square inverter down there is still the one we're using, because even though I ordered some new terminators for the Ethernet cable for this beautiful device, I still cannot get this to work. But we'll defer that, and we're going to play with that later. In the meantime, we just need to make power. So I'm going to reinstall the original panels that came with this, so this can make us power, and I'm going to install this lovely Victron Smart Solar Charger that I just went to the city to pick up. This is not an endorsement. I paid for this with my own cash. I expect it to do exactly what I expect it to do. Okay, let's get this all working. Okay then, no drama. Got a nice ATC fuse in here. Connect this up and it will sense the voltage, system voltage, in 10 seconds. And once that's done, we can connect it up to the solar. Okay, before I go any further, I have gone up on the cabin top and put a blanket over the panels. We are now charging at 0, so there's no power, or no significant power anyway, coming from the panels. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the final connection of the solar. No drama, no sparks, and most importantly, no smoke. And current, 0.3 of an amp. Okay folks, I'm gonna let you watch this while I go upstairs and pull the blanket off. That's the number to watch right there. All right, no smoke? Excellent. What do we have here? 34.5 amps. That's fabulous. It just works. And now we can put this back to work with its own panels. All right. And now we're making power here as well. Love it, love it, love it. And here we have into the bowels of Geordie, where we have 8 GC2s, 4 on each side, and they've been great, but we're looking for a little more capacity and a little less maintenance. Okay, I'm going to take one bank out at a time so that there is constant power to the boat. There we go. Lead is heavy. All right. Oh, that is so elegant. Now I'm going to put new fiddles in the tray, but this is basically a dry fit and to keep us making power for the next day or so. Now all these batteries are turned off remotely by Bluetooth, which is a really neat feature of these batteries. Alright, on the positive interconnect, I've bent them up ever so slightly so that they will sit up on top of the negative. Now in this installation, I'm going to use MRBF, a marine rated battery fuse, which seems to be pretty much the standard for lithium installations. It's not probably as good as a Class T, but a pair of Class Ts in here are beyond my budget. So I think we're quite confident with this setup. This will work perfectly. Because I've now connected them up to the bus, it will have woken up these batteries and they'll be live again. So let's see how they're doing. So of the 35 amps that's coming out of the solar charger, 23 of them are coming over here, which tells me that the lead acid over here must be pretty fully charged. Yeah, only taking 5 amps. Cool! I am going to disconnect the port side bank because I now want as much of that solar going in to the lithium as possible. Oh, these fit in so much nicer now. It was a bit of a tight fit with the old battery boxes. Oh yeah. Okay. Oof. And out. Okay, and now that there's no lead acid in the series, we'll switch the battery profile on the Victron charge controller to lithium. Boom! Just like that. And now let's see if it's changed the charge voltage. Back up, and we're off, and yes, look at that. Charge voltage is up another 1.5 volts. Excellent. Okay. Now because these are smart batteries, I have numbered them 1 through 4 so that in the app I could see how each battery is doing. Ooh! And that gives me a good idea how well they're balancing each out and stuff like that. Okay, let's get these cross connections on. because I connected up. It should have woken up these batteries. And we are charging at 25 amps. That's impressive. What do we got over here? We're down to 7 over here. I guess that's because these batteries are fairly charged, so they're balancing themselves nicely. Wow, what a nice setup! Okay, we all know this is an interim setup until I can put proper fiddles and strain relief and stuff in here. But I am very, very, very pleased, and we should have enough power to get us through the next couple of days of rain. So today's about racing against the clock. I had to make a decision. We're going to get 6 days of rain coming up. And I've only got that one coat of varnish on here. I'm determined to get at least one more before all this water comes. But I don't want to varnish up here unless I'm also doing all the rest of it. So I'm sanding down everything up until the wheelhouse to get another coat of varnish on here. And then I'm going to try and seal up as many leaks as possible, because that much rain at this time of year is very unusual and very unwelcome, because the boats are really dried out and all the little freshwater leaks, like over the bed, have opened right up. It's going to be a gusher. Anyway, all right. Let's get this done. This is way too lumpy to be working like this. Gotta get it. No, this is no way to do this.
For those of you wondering about the Land Rover, I have a very good prospect with a very fine fellow. In fact, someone here local who knows the truck, and I'm quite excited. He's going to be a fabulous new custodian of the truck. However, I felt the truck could use a bit of a tune-up. It's a early throttle body fuel-injected Chevy 4.3 V6, and I don't think I've changed the sensors since I built the truck in 2009. So, ordered a full set of sensors, and they all swap in pretty well, with the exception of, well, right here, the ignition module. I'll save that for a day that I feel like taking the distributor apart, and otherwise I think this will make a big difference in the way it basically just idles and low power strength. I did also buy a new oxygen sensor. However, it came with the 3-wire version, and yeah, I need a 1-wire. No harm.
I'm just huddling over the oven. It's cold.
I know, I'm freezing.
Are we gonna have muffins before dinner?
No, that's dessert.
Oh yeah.
They look pretty good, huh?
They look great. Come on, backwards dinner.
No backwards dinner.
It's wet. 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 Wet.
Yeah. It's good for the forest fire.
Man, that smells good. Oh yeah.
Good?
Perfect for tonight.
Right?
It's gonna rain for 3 days.
No.
Okay, we've had a couple of days of pretty brutal rain and a couple of days of pretty brutal wind. I'm so glad to get back to some weather suitable to get some work done here. So, with any luck, in a couple of days, I can finish up at least one side of the bright-work here. Now, I can't varnish for 2-3 days because I need some really bright sun to really finish drying this off, but I can get some sanding done. So I realize you can't see a whole lot of what I'm up to up here. Just trying to sand off as little varnish as possible, but you'll see in some situations where there was a repair I had to do in here, this has all been filled with teak deck system sealant. I've had a chronic problem here for years, and I think this is going to solve it, as I've done in a few other places. Anyway, on the whole, it's going great. I'm going to have to restain anywhere where I've cut through to the wood, but that shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, time to go and get the fine tool sander so I can get up in some of these smaller places. Trying to find some way to film this without dropping you folks in the ocean. I think you get it. I'm just going to keep working.